what is one of the most fastest ways to grow your money in one of the most safest, conservative, low-risk strategies, no matter if you have a few grand or a few hundred grand, where you can make around equivalently to the stock market year on year. But you don't need to learn the skill set of learning how to trade stocks. What should we do? As part of the Money Mastery course, this will be on low risk investment strategies. We're going to start with bank accounts. Let's begin by comparing an example of what you should do with your money so it's not sitting in a bank account, not earning any interest. Let's show some basic savings accounts examples from the most popular bank in Australia. We can see that if you put your money in a net bank saver account, you can make 5.1% per annum for the first 5 months for whatever money's in there. Now, variable means the interest rate is subject to change month to month based on market conditions. A fixed rate is a rate that is fixed and agreed upon an opening of a bank account or a signing of a contract, for example. You have these other accounts that are 4.5%. You have another one here that's 2.4%, and a term deposit that does not list it. However, this is not even the highest. If you're going to have a bunch of money that you're going to keep in an account to build and build and build, and if you've seen my other Money Mastery course videos, you'll know I call this account the war chest account. This is the account to help you make money. You'll know that maybe this isn't the best account. It is good. It is up there. 5.1% is good. But let me show you some higher ones that you can consider using, and I would recommend you use if I was you. We go to ING, we see 5.5%. Oh, that's even higher. And don't think just because there's small differences, you want to maximize the money made from compounding interest. Don't settle, it's the only 4.4% difference or 1% difference. Don't settle because you said you're not happy with how much money you had. And so don't you want to do everything possible with just one small change that only takes but half hour to do, opening in a new account. So then there's one even better than this, and that is not that. It is Rabobank, which you may not have heard of. But they have, the worldwide bank, quite known, or decently known in Europe from my understanding. They have a 5.75% per annum, which is the highest interest savings account that I have found. And you'll notice that when recessions near and recessions exist, and a country has a lot of debt and has gone into a lot of debt, and the cost of living increases, interest rates on bank accounts that you can make yourself increase coincidentally with the interest rates for borrowing money from the bank as well. So when you notice economical times start to get really tough, the banks want more of your money because they're going to take this money that you gave them. They're giving you 5.75%, but they're actually making more off that. They have strategies to be able to make more money than what they're giving you in compounding interest. You need to understand that is the bank is giving you, not free money, but you are become the lender. You're lending your money to the bank and they're paying you. It's flipped. It's the opposite now to what people usually do. So this is a game that you want to play. And this is also another conversation we'll have in the future, is a little bit how bonds work. But this is the account you want to do. And I'm going to show you guys, okay, you can open this up. You don't need to go in branch. I've done it myself. It takes, 15 minutes to do. You put a deposit in, they confirm your account, you can get started. Now, here's what it looks like for a practical example. So most people listening to this are going to start with around a few $1,000s, right? And we're going to play out bigger examples in a second. And you can use compounding interest calculators online to figure this out. But most of you are going to start with a few $1,000s. But let's see what happens when you make contributions to that. Because if you watch my Money Mastery course and you see how you should distribute your bank accounts, ideally we want to work up to be able to make contributions that are 50% of your earned income. Let's say you make 100 grand a year, 50% of that money is going into, let's say you make 100 grand a year, 50 grand divided by 12. Okay, so then you would be making contributions that were $4,000 per month into that account. But I'm going to show you something a little bit more conservative to start with. Let's say you're making contributions that are $500 per month into the account. But there's no interest rate. It's just sitting there like most people or many people unintelligently do. And they disrespect their hard-earned money by not putting it in an account that can make them more. So $500, you're going to end up with $35,000 in 5 years. Cool. That sounds okay, doesn't it? No, it absolutely does not. Because you want to put this money in a bank account that can make you more. So I'm going to now increase the rate of return for what some people have. They'll just have, 0.5%. It'll just sit there to be 0.5%. That's like the default for a lot of accounts. But let's go to something that's more realistic now. Some of you may have an account that is paying, 3%. And you can see the interest earned now will go up, and the amount of money you're going to make is going to go up. So let's go to something like 4%. So now instead of that being 35,000 over 5 years of growth, you're going to end up with 40,000. But this is the difference that I'm suggesting is to max out. Instead of settling for the account that's like 4-5%, go find the maximum one, and you will end up with thousands of dollars more money, thousands of dollars more. And you think that might not be comparatively much, but what you can do with that money, thousands of dollars, you can deploy against other investments or reinvest to compound and make more. So never discredit the worth of $1. The worth of $1 is not $1. The worth of $1 is what you can use to deploy with that dollar against goods and services and investments to then help you make more money, whether it's self-education, whether it's investments in other realms and assets. Never discount the credit, never discount the value of $1. It's almost always worth a lot more if you can intelligently invest it. So this is $500 a month. Let's play out what that could look like over 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So now all of a sudden, that $5,000 initial in 10 years has turned into $90,000. Most people do not have anywhere close to $90,000 of cash sitting in their bank account. And even some of those people, many of those people have loans upwards of $500,000 to $1 million. It boggles the mind how people put themselves in these situations, but because a lot of you guys and us growing up have been programmed to have poor money habits, poor money behaviors, and have listened to perhaps our parents who are not wealthy and or got money in a time that it was significantly different to the era that we're living in now. Nevertheless, banks and bank interest has always been a way to be able to make a little bit more money conservatively, low risk. Now, your contributions that you will all make, well, look at that. Interest earned, it says 24,000. 24,000 right there is the total interest earns over those 10 years for just keeping your money in a bank and continuing to put more money in there. But you guys are going to put more than $500 into that account per month eventually. So let's say, what happens if we increase that? What happens if we start with 5,000, but we end up increasing that to, if you're making 100 grand, you invest 50% of your income. Let me be conservative. Let's say 40 to 30%. And that can, because if you live at home, stay at home. Stay at home, find places where you can live with people at least, because this is going to enable you, instead of making $900 contributions or $500 contributions, you can double that. Whatever you're going to spend on rent or expensive rent, you can now double that, which is definitely a thesis that I executed in my earlier years. So now those contributions can be higher. And look what's already happened. In 10 years, we've gone 5 grand and we've gone to 332 grand. But I like to operate on a bit of a smaller time horizon because I think 10 years is pretty hard to grasp and so much can happen in 10 years. So I like to operate within a bit of a smaller window here. So let's just go 5 years for you. Let's go 5 years. We've got 5,000 down. We're in a 5.75% rate of return interest account. Understanding that interest rates will change, because you might have seen before, well, Alexander, this is 5.5% variable. Yeah, once the 3-month variable rate deal is done, swap it to another account, take all that money and put it into a new account that will pay you a higher interest rate. You play the game. You move 50 grand from ING, you move it to Rabobank, you move it to Commonwealth, and you just keep changing it to different types of banks until you get a high fixed interest account, or you just keep it in the highest accounts you can find. You just keep swapping it around. Just keep swapping it around. Let's come back here. Maybe you're making $2,000 contributions which is $24,000 per year. So let's say you make 100 grand after expenses and everything, you're putting away 24 grand a year into account. That's pretty reasonable. I'd like it a little bit higher, but yeah, it's pretty reasonable. So now, in the first year, you only earn, as it says here, $970 of interest. You don't look at the first year. You can. You'd be like, oh, cool, that's $1,000. That's an extra $1,000 I had that I didn't have before. That's a win. Don't discount a relatively small amount. Even maybe $1,000 for some of you is not a small amount. Absolutely not at all. And then the second year, that went from $1,000 to $3,500 in total in an extra year. And then the next year, you keep compounding, you keep putting $7,600. And then the year after that, $1,300. And then $1,300. It's not $1,300, $13,000. And then $21,000. See what happens over 5 years? And then and you think, what happens over 6? Is it going to double? No, it's going to more than double, because it compounds. It grows as you put more in it. So this is the power of compounding interest. It is a fundamental principle of wealth accumulation and wealth management. You want to replace your income just by doing this, you'll probably need upwards of $1 million. Upwards of $1 million will pay you between 50 to 80 grand per year in a 3 to 5.5% interest. So that sounds like a lot of money. And to some people, it's chump change. Some people spend $1 million every day. This is a game that plenty of people are playing. However, I wouldn't think about trying to get to the $1 million when you've only got 50 grand or 100 grand. I would just really focus on the week to week, month to month. Do these calculations for yourself, because it can give you something to work towards. And the main driver and goal is to up the contributions, is to live below your means as long as possible. As long as possible. As I sit here in my New York apartment looking over the New York skyline, this is a different game I'm playing. You have to understand that I spent my entire life living below my means like that. I would mainly buy things that would be reinvestments in the business, tax deductibles, or things that could have a direct effect at increasing my productivity, direct quality of life, and or business. I didn't buy fancy things, clothes. I experimented with certain things, but mostly I lived below my means. And now this being, again, a business expense and something that's much bigger than simply money for me. Okay? For you guys in the position that you're in, you'll get to a version of this, and you'll get the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But for now is not the time. Now is the time to plant seeds. Now is the time to plant seeds. So this is how you plant seeds. Make your contributions. Get them as high as possible and live below your means for as long as possible. And if you want to increase your contributions and your already expenses are low, you just need to make more money. You just need to make more money. And it's like, oh, that sounds so simple, Alexander. Okay, what are you doing? Read books, watch my money mastery course, get in the Discord in the business channel. It's free. Learn from people. I'm reading a great book right now called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a 100-year-old book. Babylon used to be one of the richest empires that ever existed, ever, in human existence. One of the principles from there, one, is invest in people who have shown that they have accumulated wealth and money and have done a version of what you want to do. So you listen and follow principles from people who are living in the way that you aspire to live. Number one. Okay? But you can't directly copy and paste. You have to take general principles. Number two is take your profit first. take the money that you're going to invest in yourself first. So when I say these contributions that you're going to make, but when you get your income, the first thing that's an automated bank transfer, which you'll see in another video in the Money Mastery course, is an automated bank transfer that goes from your income holding account into your war chest, into your investment account. And that might start off as just 1/10. In the Richest Man in Babylon, they talk about take 1/10 of every dollar you earn and use it to invest in something else. Just begin with 1/10, which is 10%. And then incrementally, it could be every 3 months when you make a little bit more money. It goes from 11%, 12%, 15%, 16%. It's exactly how I started. Now I'm nearly 30% of my earned income is going into my war chest. And then I want to get that higher and higher. Some of my mentors, they're upwards of 50%. And the way I'm going to get to upwards of 50% is I'd either need to cut big expenses like this, or I'd simply make more money. So you have a choice there at that point. But the main thing is, I cannot emphasize this enough. You need to do this right now, because the effect of this every day you don't do this, you lose money. Every day you don't do this, you lose potential money. Instead of you having 50 grand in 5 years, you have 20 grand. Tens of thousands of dollars you're leaving on the table if you sit on this. I'm even bothered at myself that I waited an extra few weeks to open the account. I'm like, God damn it. Right? And a couple $100 is fine for me. That's the difference between a couple $100, and that's not something I really care about, but it's the principle. It's the principle of taking action with expediency, with speed. Because every day you wait, you lose money. Take action right now. You have the bank accounts and increase your contributions incrementally. And as you make more money, let's say you get a pay rise, let's say you get an extra $100. I sign a new client. That's an extra $100 a week. But I'm good. My expenses have covered. Don't take that money and now put it into something like, I don't know. I'm going to grab something like this. This is like headphones. It's important. Like something, is there anything dumb in my environment? I don't even have a TV. What's dumb? I didn't have a couch for 6 months, man. What y'all tripping about? I really started bare essentials. Whatever's dumb. I don't see anything dumb around me. Don't buy dumb shit to begin with. Okay? Or I don't want to judge it. Hold off, or at least do payment plans on things like that so you can dollar cost average your expenses. Hold off. Add extra client, take that $100 and put it into your war chest. And that war chest can then, that can be that high interest savings account. So my war chest is not only money to deploy against people like mentors and self-investments and stocks and things like that. It's not only that, but it doubles as the account that has the high interest savings in it. So you see, so it has two opportunities here. It's ready to be deployed. Let's say there's a massive market crash. I'm going all in, all chips in. I should have done that during the 2020 July-ish pandemic. Everything went down. I only did a little bit. I should have gone all chips in. So when that happens again, I'm going all chips, right? So you'll be ready as well. And you'll have more money than you would have had ordinarily because you had money in a compounding interest account. Money buys you that peace of mind and freedom after the basic necessities. So you guys know what to do. Go execute right now. Don't go over to scroll on social media. I know you want to pull out your phone and look at whatever the new dopamine that's going to get you. Just right now, do it. Stop the video right now. Get the bank account right now. You have an opportunity to make money. What are you doing? You're still watching this video. Get out of here. Get out of here.